Welcome to Define Activities process under Project Schedule Management. Under this process, we try to define the activities based on the work breakdown structure that we have created under Scope Management. We try to understand the work packages under WBS and try to decompose into activities at the minimum level of activities that is required to perform the project. So this process is all about breaking down the work packages into activities that will provide us the basis for scheduling under this project schedule management and also for costing under project cost management. So there are some inputs that has been defined for this process, and one of the main inputs for this process would be the scope baseline. The scope baseline will give you the scope statement, the work breakdown structure, and the work breakdown structure dictionary. Also, it is important to understand the schedule management plan that we defined in the previous process that will give you the basic guideline of how to manage the schedule in your project. Under environmental factors, it's important to, as a project manager, to understand the organization culture, the availability of resources, and publish information about the resources, and also any historical information that is available in such a similar projects that has been used and has been previously done, any lessons learned in previous project activities that can be used when defining activities, any risks and probabilities that you would identify in previous projects, so that can be used as an input when you're defining activities in this project. As I mentioned earlier, the tools which can be used in defining activities would be the decomposition. Here you take the work breakdown structure, the work packages, the minimum package that we have defined under scope management, and divide and subdivide into smaller and smaller manageable parts. Activities present the effort needed to complete the work package. So if you sum up the activities, it will give you the efforts that you need to complete the work package. So the work package was identified as the minimum component in the work breakdown structure, and here we take that work breakdown structure and further decompose so that we get into activities. In a smaller projects, obviously the work breakdown structure and the activity list could be done parallelly or sequentially. But in larger projects, this could be two separate activities, two separate processes. Also, some other technique that can be used as discussed above is the rolling planning method. This is where the rolling wave planning is where you take as an iterative planning technique. The work completed in near terms will be planned in detail, decomposed into detail, and the work which is to be done in the future will be planned at a high level. During early planning, when information is less, defined work packages are decomposed into known level of details, and when more information is available due to upcoming events, work packages can be decomposed into activities. So once again, rolling wave planning means that work packages will be in more details when it closer to being current activities. So if you are in the current activities in a project can be broken down into more details, and activities which are done in the future can be at a high level. Outputs of defined activities process would be obviously a comprehensive list of activity list, and also in parallel, like the work breakdown structure dictionary, you can have activity attributes. You can have activity ID name, the description, what is the predecessor activity, what is the successor activity, if there's a logical relationship, what is the relationship between the predecessor activity and the successor activity, the lead time and the lag time, how much of resources that is required, any constraints, any assumptions for that activity that you have defined, or any risk that you perceive for that activity. So all these attributes per activity can be cataloged and detailed out. Another output of defined activities would be the milestone list. Activities have durations, whereas milestone is a significant point in time of a project. It does not have a duration. It represents a moment of time, a milestone. It depends how you define a milestone. Sometimes user acceptance testing could be a milestone, or defining the scope of the project will be a milestone. Signing off the UAT will be a milestone. There can be payment milestone of a project. There can be delivery milestones of a project. So defining activities, the process have three outputs. One is the activity list, activity attributes, and the list of milestones of the project.